I'm very fortunate to have a computer that I can use to make music on, right? But I won't lie, it's not the fastest computer. I have like a mid range graphics card from like 2019. And, it can get to the point in projects where CPU runs out. So this video is just a quick guide on like shit you can do to make sure your house doesn't get caught on fire and you don't blow everything up. So first things first, I want to point out a comment that was on the Reverb Sends video. Somebody commented about how you might be saving the CPU because you only have one reverb insert open instead of like multiple and multiple channels, right? And yeah, that's a very good point. So as long as you're cool with it, like look at this. I've only got this one reverb send. I've got all this stuff sending to it right here. And I do have a second reverb and a delay one, but that's 3 plugins as opposed to like 15 or something. So that's just a quick thing you can do. Like that's yet another reason to use this reverb technique that I talked about in that other video. So that's first things first. That's like simple, out of the way stuff. Let's go over here. This is a track I'm working on. It's like a future bass thing. I'll play a little bit of it. And pay attention up here to how high the CPU gets. So yeah, I peaked around like 50, 55, something like that. And I haven't done this a lot, but there is one easy thing you can do that will help with CPU, because plugins like Vital, which is what I don't have Serum, but I use Vital for these big like chord stacks right here, take up a lot of CPU, and you have so many layers, right? You have like look at this these chords I made here. Like, look at that. Look how many, and these are all like 16 voices or something. So all of the voices and all of these notes have to play at the same time, which puts a lot of stress on your CPU. So what you can do is just resample it by selecting it and clicking Control-Alt-C, and then this window will pop up. Make sure you got the right settings here. That's a subject for another day. And then you can resample it into audio. And as long as you don't want to go back and change notes, I'd recommend keeping it over here so that you can go back and change notes. It's not like as convenient, but it saves so much CPU, and I'll prove that right here. So I'm going to play the same thing. This is the consolidated resampled version that's just plain audio, and these are the notes. Pay attention up here. Like just that peaked at like what, 58, which is crazy. Here's the audio version. Much lower. Yeah, you can already see that's much lower. And, there's also a bunch of reverb and other shit on this that's making it worse, but you can already see it cuts it in like half. So that's another tip. Now let's go over to the settings. You want to go over here, options, audio settings. First things first, make sure you have the FL Studio driver. This is the thing that like talks to your computer's sound card. It's the ASIO. I don't know what that exactly means, but I know that it has low latency and high audio quality. So just have that selected unless you have some other audio interface you're using. Most people know to use this, but just in case you missed it, that's important. And then right here, buffer length. This is how long it takes for how many milliseconds of delay there is. And you can set this higher. I have it at 1024. It seems like that's a solid number to have it at. And, if you have it at like 256, you might get a little bit worse CPU usage. One more thing here is to have Smart Disable on. This will turn off plugins, basically, if they're not being used, and something like that. Basically, it'll just make you see how I'm sitting at 24 up there? It should make that lower than what it would be otherwise. One last thing is the resampling quality. Don't have this too high because it can use a lot of CPU, but I would recommend 24 or 16. And then let's see. Oh, and having triple buffer on, you will notice some delay with this on. But if you're having like a lot of issues, like you're constantly getting like 70, 80, where it's affecting the sound quality, turn on triple buffer, and that should lessen the load on your CPU a little bit. Now, I'm not getting too deep into this because I'm not really a computer guy. But that is the very basic tips that I have to kind of help with this shit. And hopefully your house won't be burning down anymore.